To this day, when I was a kid, I used to think that pork chops and karate chops were the same thing. I thought they were both pork chops. And because my grandmother thought it was cute, and because they were my favourite, she kept letting me do it. Not really a big deal. One day, before I realised fat kids are not designed to climb trees, I fell out of a tree and bruised the right side of my body. I didn't want to tell my grandmother about it because I was afraid I would get into trouble playing somewhere that I shouldn't have been. A few days later, the gym teacher noticed the bruise, and I got sent to the principal's office. From there, I was sent to another small room with a really nice lady who asked me all kinds of questions about my life at home. I saw no reason to lie. As far as I was concerned, life was pretty good. I told her whenever I'm sad, my grandmother gives me karate chops. This led to a full-scale investigation, and I was removed from the house for 3 days, until they finally decided to ask how I got the bruises. News of this silly little story quickly spread through the school, and it earned my first nickname, Pork Chop. To this day, I hate pork chops. I'm not the only kid who grew up this way, surrounded by people who used to say that rhyme about sticks and stones, as if break bones, hurt more than names we got called, and we got called them all. So we grew up believing no one would ever fall in love with us, that we'll be lonely forever, that we'll never meet someone to make us feel that like the sun was something they built for us. In their tool shed, so broken heartstrings bled the blues as we tried to empty ourselves, so we would feel nothing. Don't tell me that hurts less than a broken bone, that an ingrown life is something surgeons can cut away, that there's no way for it to metastasize. It does. She was 8 years old, our first day of grade 3, when she got called ugly. We both got moved to the back of the class, so we would stop getting bombarded by spitballs, but the school halls were a battleground, where we found ourselves outnumbered day after wretched day. We used to stay inside for recess, because outside was worse. Outside we'd have to rehearse running away, or learn to stay still like statues, given no clues that we was there. In grade 5, they taped a sign to her desk that read, "Beware of dog." To this day, despite a loving husband, she doesn't think she's beautiful, because of a birthmark that takes up a little less of half her face. Kids used to say she looked like a wrong answer that someone tried to erase but couldn't quite get the job done, and they'll never understand that she's raising 2 kids whose definition of beauty begins with the word mum, because they've seen her heart, because they've seen her skin, that she's only ever always been amazing. He was a broken branch, grafted onto a different family tree adopted, but not because his parents opted for a different destiny. He was 3 when it became a mixed drink, of 1 part left alone and 2 parts tragedy. Started therapy in 8th grade, had a personality made up of tests and pills. Lived like the uphills were mountains and the downhills were cliff. 4/5 suicidal. A tidal wave of antidepressants and an adolescence being called Popper. 1 part because of the pills and 99 parts because of the cruelty. He tried to kill himself in grade 10. When a kid who still had his mum and dad had the authority to tell him get over it, as if depression is something that can be remediated. By one of the contests found out in the first aid kit. To this day, here's a stick on TNT lit from both ends. Could describe to you in detail the way the sky bends. In the moments before it about to fall, and despite an army of friends who all call him an inspiration, he remains a conversation piece between people you can't understand. Something becoming drug-free has less to do with an addiction and more to do with sanity. We weren't the only kids who grew up this way to this day. Kids are still being called names. The classics were "Hey stupid," "Hey spaz." Seems like each school year an arsenal of names getting updated every year. And if a kid breaks in a school and no one around chooses to hear, do they make a sound? Are they just a background noise? Or a sound track stuck on repeat? When people say things like kids can be cruel, every school was a big top circus tent, and the pecking order went from acrobats to lion tamers, from clowns to carnies. All of these were miles ahead of who we are. We are freaks, lobster claw boys and bearded ladies, oddities, juggling depression and loneliness, playing solitaire, spin the bottle, trying to kiss the wounded parts of ourselves and heal, but at night, while the others sleep, we keep walking the tightrope. It was practice, and yeah, some of us feel. But I want to tell them that all of this shit is just debris left over when we finally decided to smash all the things we thought we used to be. And if you can't see anything beautiful about yourself, get a better mirror. Look a little closer, stare a little longer. But there's something inside of you that made you keep trying, despite everyone who told you to quit. You built a case around your broken heart and signed it yourself. You signed it. They were wrong. Because maybe you didn't belong to a group or a clique. Maybe they decided to pick you last for basketball or everything. Maybe you just used to bring bruises and broken teeth to show, and but never told. Because how can you hold your ground if everyone around you wants to bury you beneath it? You have to believe that they are wrong. They have to be wrong. Why else would you still be here? We grow up learning to cheer on the underdog, because we see ourselves in them. We steam from a rooted planet in the belief that we are not what we're called. We are not abandoned cars stalled out and sitting empty on a highway. And if in some way we are, don't worry. We only got out to walk and get gas. We are graduated members from the class of F off, we made it. Not faded echoes of voices crying out. Names will never hurt me, of course they did. But our lives will only ever always continue to be a balancing act that has less to do with pain. That poem, it's called To Do This Day. I basically kind of wrote it myself, and it's supposed to be an anti-bullying poem, so I hope you all liked it. Thank you.